Guys, girls, ladies and gentlemen, it's BTC Gambler here. Guys and girls, I hope you're well. Yeah, I haven't done a video for ages, and really is long overdue. I've done plenty of videos, but they've all been private, guys. They've all been private for all those brave pioneers out there that have decided to have an attempt at Alphaverse. And so I've been busy on Alphaverse, and this really is a first public video I've done in ages, to be honest with you. And again, this video is going to be about Alphaverse. So the last video I did do, it got banned from YouTube. So let's pray that this one doesn't get banned from YouTube, because yeah, nothing pisses me off more than putting all the effort into a video, providing really useful information to you guys, and then have it deleted. So, and today we are back over there. We're back over. I'm not even going to mention her name because I don't think YouTube like that name. And again, I'm looking at the game Dragon Tower. So if you didn't see my last video, it is up on Odyssey. Please make your way over there. It is there. But since that video, it has evolved. Okay, I'm going to briefly show you where I am with everything. So Alphaverse is still running. It's all good. I'm on a new strategy, and it's been running for a number of days now. I refreshed it all today, and in 6 hours it's made just shy of $200 in 6 hours, which ain't bad, guys. It ain't bad at all. So, and what we're running is Dragon Tower, and Dragon Tower, I've got it set on Master Mode. Well, I used to have it on Easy, and I used to go right to the very top. But if you just bet, we can do 0 bets, and we're just betting just one. Okay, and as you can see, that pays out just on one 3.92x, and that gives us 25% win chance. So I have a spreadsheet, and the spreadsheet will be available to download if you want to play this. So the spreadsheet here has been a lot of work gone into this, and it's designed exclusively for Alphaverse. And so if you want to play Alphaverse or whatever, then there is a process, guys. So in here, it's been tailored for me because I've got 142 bots, and in here I'm starting each account with 100 balance, and I put the recovery part in here, and I've tailored it for my needs. But you see the bet here, as you can see, our win chance is 25%, which means we have a loss chance of 75%, and I'm adding 34.3% on each loss to recover for full recovery. Now you may have seen this, but this is now version 5, and that also goes in line with the version that I'm running on Alphaverse, which is also version 5. And the script itself, let me just show you that. In Visual Studio Code is also in version 5 as well. So yeah, this is the code we're running. And as you can see, I've set Dragon Tower to difficult level 4 and only choosing one egg, and I'm 34.3% increase on a loss. Now the bits that are changed, obviously I've changed the metrics here, but if you don't know, before I just talk about this, I want to talk about the house edge, because there are only 2 levels that I recommend you play Dragon Tower on if you're going to play it, and that is either on hard mode or master mode. Know that if you're going to be playing Dragon Tower, that is a heavily skewed game, because if you know exactly how much the win payout's going to be and what your win chance is, it's very easily, from the win chance in decimal there, it's very easy to calculate the RTP, and from the RTP it's very easy to calculate the house edge. So if you ask Stake, not name no mention, what their house edge in, they would tell you this is a 2% house edge game, and I can tell you now that is an absolute blatant lie, because look at this. When you get into medium mode, the house edge can go right up to 10.5%. You're at massive disadvantage there. And that's why I say know the game. This is undocumented stuff. Stake need to be held to account for this. 2 of the levels they have gone through to work out exactly how much the win payout should be to maintain the exact 2% house edge across each level of the game. And that's in hard mode and it's in master mode. The others they haven't. Like even in expert mode it's 10.5 and it's 10.5. Again on medium you're massively disadvantaged. So if you're going to play Dragon Tower, know what you're up against. And I've got it in this spreadsheet here. I think this needs to be brought to Stake's attention. This is a blatant, in my mind, cheat. But what I've also added within this spreadsheet now, which I'm hoping is going to make your life easier, is this conceptual idea of what we call a validity checker. We're built within this. And so this will calculate in every step what the next bet's going to be, what your balance is, what the accumulated bet is, what the win payout is, and then you've got this checker, this multiply checker. Now, so if we say, for example, that I was running this at 33.66%, thinking that was the lowest denominator, but it wasn't, because as you can see, when you get beyond 15 losses in a row, you're in a negative scenario there. Yeah, even though I was winning, I was making a loss. And that was problematic. And that was problematic because what would happen in Alphaverse, it would tip across a recovery pot and then it would vault the remaining balance back. And because that was below what the recovery pot amount, that bot was no longer then a recovery pot holder. So I had to keep juggling funds around. So this is a really useful tool to work out exactly what the minimum stake amount would be. And as you can see, it's 34.3%. And it's green right throughout. So if I put that to 34.2%, for example, 34.2%, we're in the negative scenario again. So that is the lowest denominator that I could find, and it's something you can use no matter what strategy you can use. You can apply this against any strategy, because as long as you put in there what your win chance is going to be and how much you're going to add per loss, it would calculate that for you. So I hope you find this spreadsheet useful. In there, obviously, you got the odds and probability calculator here. So what are the odds? Yeah, 23 million to 1 chance of crashing out. Not great, but I'd say games like Dragon Tower lend themselves more towards the Alphaverse spectrum of gaming, because you're betting so many bets. Let me show you. I am betting 1.3 million bets per hour. You really want that tight confinement of the scope of what you're doing, because if you take Dragon Tower, technically it's 4 columns. So you really have got this really tight remit of gambling. Now, if this was done on dice, for example, you will see a much larger excessive loss streak. But in Dragon Tower, because it can only really land on 4 positions, yeah, the chance of losing out is pretty minuscule. And just to verify that even more, guys, if you don't have Qbot and you want to run Alphaverse, you'll be a fool, because Qbot, I use it to validate everything. This has been running now for 10 days non-stop and done close to 70 million bets, and it's stood up for that entire time. That's the robustness of the strategy that you need on Alphaverse. Now, Alphaverse isn't about making lots and lots of money. It's about making tiny amounts of money, but 1.3 million bets an hour, it all adds up. Yeah, so just going back to the spreadsheet now, you can see there's actually 5 tabs at the bottom here. One is the base bet where you put in your start balance, and if you're going to be doing this yourself, I always put the full amount of recovery pots that I put in there, and I'm playing this with 32,000 TRX as a recovery pot, which gives me a max loss streak of 59. And as we saw on the Qbot, the max loss streak we saw here was 56 over 10 days and 70 million bets nearly. So I feel it's safe territory. Almost like these odds and the probability, they don't add up, because simply you've got a 1 in 4 chance. There's only 4 columns. It's a really tight game, and it's best suited for Alphaverse. So you've got the 5 bits here where you put your balance in there. Ignore this. This is not being used. The base bet multiplier. The multiplier to add per loss is, as I said, is you can do on the validity checker to make sure that you're not under martingale in. And also you don't want to over martingale. And yeah, put your win chance in. It automatically calculates the loss chance. And this is where you put your base bet amount in. And I'm betting the lowest possible bet you can, which is 3 zeros and a 3 of 1 TRX, which is a minuscule amount, guys. And in there I put in the win multiplier payout, and it will automatically calculate the max loss streak it could cope with. And that correlates exactly what's in Qbot as well. See that 59? It's good that Qbot does that. Now, this is where the maths here is pretty strong. So if I just quickly I'll come back to this section here. The other tabs say the validity checker. This calculates it's when it's going to crash out and such forth. The house edge calculation is there for you to know really what you should avoid. And the odds and probability is pretty much as they stand. And this has been checked numerous times, guys, and this is correct up to 8 decimal places. And the more important one at the back there, which we're all interested in, is how much money does this make? So I found with a very high level of accuracy, if I did 10 minutes run of this on Alphaverse and worked out how much it made in 10 minutes, then I can calculate how much it would make in an hour, and then how much it would make in 1 day, and then subsequently how much it would make in a week, and then a month. Okay. Now I put here the exchange rate for TRX. So you need to update as well. So all the calculations are there in TRX, so I can then convert that to dollar amount. And likewise, what the dollar amount will be, because it would be that times that amount, and how much it would be in 1 hour, and how much in a day, and how much in a week. So you can see the sorts of profits that I'm making here. And we can also work out what the wager amount is going to be as well, which could or could not be useful, depending how much emphasis you put around wagering. And these numbers from 10 minutes, then that gets extrapolated out through the rest of the week, are pretty darn well close. They're almost spot on accurate. They are not just wild finger in the air calculations. You can pretty much predict how the system's going to behave from 10 minutes of monitoring. So these metrics hold out very, very strong. The biggest thing that can affect this is the speed of betting. So we'll often find that the website slows down on a Saturday, but then it picks back up again. So this spreadsheet will be attached in the description of this video. So please, for your books, all of you, and please use this to your own use. Even if you're not using it for this, you can use it for anything that you're using. You can put in any win chance and any multiplier amount you're going to add, and Excel will just do its thing. And you put any amount of money. So you might find that useful, and you might find it useful to work out the probabilities and the odds, because you can use it for pretty much anything. That's there for you to download, and please share that. And spread the word about this bloody awful scam here, and here. Yep. If you were playing in those levels, stop. Right. So it is a relatively quick video, just to let you know what I'm getting up to. I am still running Alphaverse. I am still open to applications that people that want to join Alphaverse. It's not as easy to get Alphaverse up and running, and realistically, you need some funds behind you as well to run Alphaverse. You know, if you think you're going to come on to run Alphaverse with a small amount of money, you're going to really struggle. Okay. Yeah. And I also want to point out that Alphaverse, it took 2 years to develop. Okay, and it's been an up and down journey. You know, I got hacked, and yeah, I've lost money, and then I won money, and you know, it's been a roller coaster ride, to be honest with you. And it was difficult enough just to produce the Alphaverse platform. But then I've found that the people that have come and joined me in Alphaverse are just really copying my strategies as well. It's almost like I'm also seem to be the responsible person for producing the strategies to run an Alphaverse, when realistically, what I was kind of hoping is the community would come up with ideas better than me. You know, I'm just the creator of the platform. I have strategies, and you can certainly have them for free. But I was hoping that somebody could find the ultimate killer strategy. You know, who knows? You know, who knows? This strategy may well be the Achilles heel. The very fact that you've only got 4 columns seems to be near enough impossible for it to get above 56 loss streak. You know, over 70 million bets in 10 days. But, you know, hey ho, who knows? That could be the Achilles heels, we don't know. However, it's unknown. But the beauty with Alphaverse is it can run any stake game, stake originals game, and it can do zero betting, and you can do back-to-back betting, and you can play not just dice or limbo or Dragon Tower. You can actually intermix the games between the games. You could do things like zero betting to move on a nonce, or switch the game during a game. There's so much you could do on Alphaverse. I feel Alphaverse is like, it's screaming out for the ultimate strategy. So we need some really good talent in there. I mean, what we've got is good enough. It's making me money. It's making me money. It's making me residual income every month or every day. And yeah, I do, you know, obviously frequently drain down at least once a week. I do a drain down. So if you're interested in joining this, you know, there is a process, and the process will be that, you know, Alphaverse is not open source. It's not open source. It is closed source. There is a license agreement that I ask people to sign up to, and it will only work on accounts that are affiliated to my account. I'm not charging for Alphaverse. It's completely free. It is a great platform, but the only way you can access it and use it if you're using accounts that have Mr. BTC Gambler and welcome offer. Otherwise, it's been hard coded in there that those bots just won't run at all. So, and that way, I don't have to charge you guys a license for the software. That means the casino pay for the license fee. They just pay via the affiliate funds. And if you're running something like this, guys, it doesn't pay out very much. Just be honest. I need lots of clients on there. So, in order to gain access to this, you have to be a VIP member in my Discord. That's rule number 1. That is, if I just bring up my Discord, yeah, there's multiple levels on my Discord. So to get to a VIP, you've had to have asked 8 questions. Now those 8 questions, a lot of people are moaning about them. They're not doing them. But those 8 questions were formulated from a series of videos that I spent ages working on to train people up with the sole purpose that they had the essential skills and knowledge required to basically at least attempt to understand Alphaverse and what it's all about and all the nuts and bolts of it. So those VIP questions were geared for that one thing and one thing only. And it's only once you're a VIP member that you can then gain access to tutorials. And it's in tutorials, couldn't find it there, in tutorials you will see there's 3 videos to watch. Setting up Alphaverse Part 1, setting up Alphaverse Part 2, and setting up Alphaverse Part 3. And in those videos I explain what you need to do in order to come and join me on Alphaverse. So I welcome all new members. There is a process, and I'm sorry it's a bit onerous, but you will thank me for that at a later stage, because it's essential knowledge that you're going to need to if you're going to run Alphaverse yourself. Right, I'm going to end the video, those guys, and just really is an update. And let me know your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts. I'd love to hear from you, and I'll speak to you all again very, very soon.